Get ready, because Banter with Richie B Productions is launching an all-new podcast network. 4 shows, 4 hosts, 1 powerhouse of paranormal and cryptid entertainment all week long. Ghost Cats and Cryptids joining the Banter with Richie B podcast network every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join researcher Jean Tewksbury as she dives into the world of mountain lions, the elusive predators known as ghost cats. Jean also explores cryptids, separating fact from folklore and asking the questions others won't. Kick off your week on Tuesdays with the one and only Wojo, host of Home of the Boom. He's diving deep into the world of cryptids, Bigfoot, and the mysteries that shake the woods. Interviews, investigations, and the loudest boom in the cryptid community. Every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fridays get a little darker and a whole lot prettier. Join Sam from Sam's Pretty Paranormal, where makeup meets the macabre. It's Sam After Dark, spooky storytelling, and her fan favorite segment, Cooking for the Dead. Tune in every Friday from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for glam, goosebumps, and all things ghoulish. And every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the flagship show returns. Banter with Richie B live, featuring Richie B and Wojo. From updates to investigations to wild discussions, this is the core of the network. Raw, real, and always unpredictable. Spend your Saturday evenings with the duo that started it all. 4 nights of content, 4 incredible hosts, cryptids, ghosts, glam, stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. This is the Banter with Richie B Podcast Network. Hey everybody, how is everybody doing on this Friday night? I was trying to collect myself just a minute ago because that video for Ella is that was really, really emotional to put together. But I'm glad, that we put that together for Ella's foundation and her family and Denny. So I hope you guys enjoy that. That's all for Ella and Denny. And if you can, please support, because the Ella Foundation is it's important. So with that being said, oh God, I wasn't gonna do that, but that was really important to me. I put my heart in that, and yeah. So please support the Ella Jade Foundation. Such a beautiful, beautiful girl. And we see you, Ella, always. But let me go ahead and say hello to everyone. And we don't want to get the tears going. God, I won't stop if I do. BMO, it's so good to see you, Werewolf. Thank you for coming tonight. Jean, Ciao, Gianni. Let's see, Kurt welcome in. Hazy, how are you? Wojo, boom. Let's see. I'm so glad to see everybody. Hey Mary, how are you? It's so good to see you tonight. And Prince Daniel, thank you for coming tonight. And yeah, let's see, who else? I'm trying to catch up to everybody. Oh, there he is. Denny, you are so welcome. You are so, so welcome. Beautiful. Ella's beautiful. And I can tell she's around. She's around all of us. And so I really hope you guys will go support that. Hey, TM Drake, how are you? Jason, Tiffany, welcome in. Let's see. Oh, we got Tyler, Ricky Bobby in the house. Hey, hey, hey. I think I'm caught up now, so that's good. So let's see. Sam, great job to you and Richie, and you're so welcome, Dooney. Like, honestly, anything, I will be getting an Ella shirt. I will. And I need to get me some more things that I can post around where I live to get some notice around here to that. Hey, Jessica, how are you? Hey, Mayan. What up, cheese dip cornbread? Hey, Richie. I hope you got to see the Ella video. It was beautiful. It went absolutely beautiful. So I was proud to get that going tonight. Worked really hard on that. So yes. So how's everybody's Friday night? I hope it's going really good for everybody. Tonight's topic's going to get a little intense because we're going to talk a true crime case that it's been solved. So that's a good thing. It's not a cold case. I did not play it again. I sure will. I'm going to play it again for the king. 1 second, people. It's beautiful. Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, it's a beautiful video. She makes it beautiful, not me. Just so you know that. But yeah, so this Friday night we're gonna deep dive into a true crime story that I don't know if many of you have heard of. It's a case that happened in 2011, so it's been a while since this has happened. So I don't know if a lot of you have heard of it or not. So let me know if you have. It gets mixed up a lot with the yogurt shop murder. It's not the yogurt shop. It's just the yoga Lululemon. So a lot of people get that. I know BMO had put up at the top information about the yogurt shop, but yeah, it can get confused easily. I know it can. Hey BMR, how are you? Never enough Ella in the world. Right, play it on loop. I know. I wish I could. Ciao, Yobo So. This is Gianni's mom. Just wanted to introduce myself, and I'll be watching, but not. Wow! Everybody, welcome Gianni's mama. Isn't that amazing? Welcome Gianni's mama. So good to see you. Yes, Z, the Lord needed another angel. Sam, you're a true gift to the world, and you being part of this family. Oh, Richie, I wouldn't have it any other way. This is definitely where I belong. God put me here, and I'm blessed to be here with all of you. But yes, it's okay, BMO. Like a lot of it's it can get confusing. It really can. Gianni, is your mom with you? Are you like Gianni's mama? Do you live in Sicily or are you here visiting? So we would all like to know. It's so good to see you in here though. This is really cool. So yeah, it can get confusing, but I've got a whole presentation. I worked on a presentation. Yes, it was right, BMO. I got a presentation though. So, I worked hard on this thing. All right, so I want to present it to you guys. I just wanted to see if maybe you guys have heard of it, but I know it gets a little confusing with the yogurt shop murders. Hey Z Sun Dragon, how are you? So with that being said, I guess I can like pull it up and see. Hopefully, I hope it doesn't take up the whole screen. But if it does, it's fine. It's fine. Let me see what it does. I've never done it. Oh, okay. So yeah, it doesn't take up the whole screen. All right. Now, so the two girls you're seeing on the screen right now. So this is Jana Murray, and this is Brittany. I forget her last name, but anyways, she so they were co-workers at this store, Lululemon, in Bethesda. I don't even know how to say that. Bethesda, Maryland, in 2011. This is when this happens. So this was in the Bethesda, I think that's how you say it, Row shopping district is where this Lululemon store was. So if you don't know what Lululemon is, it's like an athletic wear store, and it's kind of pricey. I've actually been in there, and I've actually purchased running shorts in there. It's very nice store. So to start off, to kind of like introduce you into how everything took place, on March 12th in 2011, store manager Rachel went to open the store before 8 a.m. and she found that the door was unlocked. So she was like, okay, that's strange. It's supposed to be locked, So I guess she figured, well, maybe the girls, from the night before, maybe they just walked out and forgot to lock it up. So she went in And she started, when she first went into the store, it wasn't like there was a noticeable like difference in the store. Like, she had to walk in just a little bit, and she started noticing that some things were knocked over. There was some shirts in the floor and whatnot, just different items, clothes racks, stuff like that. So she said, okay, that's a red flag. So maybe I should go back out. She panicked a little bit. She went right back out of the store, and that is where she was trying to figure out what to do. So, like, right next to the Lululemon store, there's an Apple store. So there was a crowd out there that morning around the Apple store because they were, I think one of the iPads were being released, and it was new. So everybody was there like waiting for the doors to open, right? To get a chance to get the iPad. So, one of the there was a guy out there. Yeah, I'm just making sure I don't get ahead of myself. There was a guy out there named Ryan that was in the crowd, so he was kind of like waiting for the iPad too, and he noticed that, Rachel was in a little bit of a stress. Like, she was like, oh God, like, what's going on with this lady? So he walked over to offer his assistance to her and ask her, what was wrong and all of that. So he says, he asked her, what was wrong? And she asked Ryan, she said, have you seen anyone come in or out of this store this morning since you've been standing here? He had said he had not seen anyone, and he had been there for about an hour. So he offered his assistance to walk with her back in the store so she wouldn't have to go in there alone to further assess the situation to see what had happened. And so they went back in the store to see if anything had been stolen, because at this point it's kind of like, it looks like it could have been like a robbery, so to speak, with stuff knocked around and, whatnot. So as they got in the store, they walked more towards the back. So the further back they got, they saw that the store was just more disheveled. Yes, iPad 2 that's right, BMO. So it was a big thing. The iPad 2 was being released, and everybody was like, So, you know how that is. So the further back they were going in the store, they noticed that there was just like stuff, like the store was trashed. There was stuff everywhere the further back you got. And once they got to the counters where like the cash registers were, they saw that they were open and the money was gone, completely gone. And so they were like, okay, this is straight robbery. So Rachel and Ryan both, hey, our wild Rachel, I hope you're feeling better. I know you were sick the other night, like really bad. So I hope you are coming around. I hate that you're still sick. I'm kind of like not that great myself, but it's gonna be all right. I don't know what it is. I think it's just stuff going around. I don't know. I had some candy earlier because my stomach's just really messed up. So, yes, smashy that likey, and share this out with all your true crime peeps that love to hear about true crime. Share it out. Do whatever you want with it. Benno! Hi, Benno. How are you? It's so good to see you. So, Rachel and Ryan walked into the first back room. So, I guess I'm assuming there's like a hallway and there's rooms, And they walked into the first one. It was a mess. They saw smashed glass, things thrown, and then they noticed the obvious, which was blood. A lot of blood. So they were like, oh boy, there's some blood. Now, some of the blood was smeared on the wall. There's handprint, like half partial handprint blood on the wall. There's drag marks with blood. Like, it's a mess, right? It's just, so they knew at this point something bad had went down in this store. So, we moving on. So basically, Rachel decides she's going to stay towards the front of the store, and she's going to let Ryan go back and assess more of the store, just for protection. And he offered to. He in the story he said that he told her to stay towards the front. He would go back and assess the situation further. And so there was so much blood, and they were unsure if the two workers that were supposed to be on that night shift was still there. So he went back and looked for anyone and assessed further damage. Now, Ryan followed the blood trails. So there was like I told you, there were blood trails, there were drag marks and stuff like that. And he found a woman. He found a dead body. It was a woman. She was lying face down in a pool of her own blood, had a rope around her neck. So that would be the top picture, the blonde, okay? That would be her. She was laying face down. And so in a panic, he had started to go back up to the front because he was going to tell Rachel, hey, somebody dead, like we need to get on that, right? But he had heard some noise coming from another room. Hey, Ray, how are you? So he heard some more noise coming from another room, and he decided, okay, I need to investigate that. This is a brave man, by the way. Very brave, but we stand Ryan, like, so glad that he done this. But anyways, he got to, it was a bathroom, and he saw an employee. So that would be the bottom picture. This is Brittany, okay? She was bloodied. Her hands and feet were zip tied, and her hands were above her head, and she was laying on her back on the floor. And he could see she was still breathing. He couldn't see her injury. I mean, he could see that some of the injuries, but I guess he didn't know how severe some were. Just glancing at her, he did see a bad wound on her head, and she had like a couple of like deep cuts, but not, but like I said, he wasn't sure, how severe some of her injuries were. Now, let's see, I'm trying to get that off the top. Anyways, all right. So Ryan sees her, so he heads back to the front. He tells Rachel, okay, there's two bodies. One is in crucial condition. Like, we need to get the ambulance, medical help here ASAP, right? So they get them. They call the police. They call paramedics. Like, get everybody here now. So Rachel, the manager, realized quickly who the two women were. They were the only two that was working the late shift the night before. So she realized it was 28-year-old Brittany Norwood, and she was the one alive. And then the woman dead was 30-year-old Jana Murray. So the police and the ambulance, they get there quick. They run over to Brittany, the surviving victim, and they notice her feet and her hands zip tied, her arms above her head. She laid flat in the floor. Her shirt was pulled up on her stomach just a little bit, but it wasn't over her breast or anything. She had a lot of slash wounds, and there was a lot of blood. So she was still fully clothed, they noticed, but they also noticed that in the crotch area of her leggings, there had been a little place cut away. So they thought, oh boy, this could have been a sexual motive behind this. There could have been an assault. She had a Lululemon t-shirt around her neck. It was just tied. It wasn't tight or anything like it was used, to strangle. It was just tied around her neck. So they looked around the room a little bit more, and they found there was a rock with blood, and they figured out, well, judging by the wound on the front of her forehead, that this was used to hit her in the head with. Just very unusual. I don't, so the room that Brittany was in was a mess. There was a Buddha statue in there with her. I'm trying to clear it where I can see because it keeps showing the numbers and stuff, and I'm just like, what the freak? Oh, there it went. Okay. So there was a Buddha statue in there with her. It had blood on it. There was clothes hangers, 2 empty Windex bottles, paper towels everywhere, and they were basically just like soaked in blood. Hey, Brandy. Hey, previously possessed. How are you? So paramedics had gone to the back room with Jaina to check her condition and assess her. And basically they were like, yeah, so they just pronounced her dead, right? Oh, see you, Mama Bear Claw. So good to see you. So investigators found an open toolbox in the room with Jaina. Now, it was the property of Lululemon, so they had this toolbox on hand, to just, fix things around the store or whatever. And they saw that, like, the toolbox had just been, everything had been thrown out of it. All the weapons, or the weapons, all of the tools had been thrown out of it, but they figured out, they had blood on them, so they figured out they were used as weapons. That's what I was getting at. But there were only like 2 in the box. I think there was 2. Yeah, let's see. There was only like 2 tools in the box. Yeah, the rest were scattered and they had blood on them, so they figured they were weapons. There was a wrench, a hammer, and 2 box cutters laying around, all covered in blood, and the toolbox was sitting on top of Jaina's body. So whoever done this, they just dropped the toolbox on her. The room itself where Jaina was found was the bloodiest room in the store. There was a thin layer of blood that covered the floor, just like, just very thin. But the thickest of the blood was around Jaina's body, really, really thick. And then there was some scattered up the wall, like 6 foot high in some places. It was just crazy. Now, there is crime scene photos. I cannot show them on YouTube, but I can put them in my Patreon and you can go there and see them, or you can do the research yourself and just go find them. I mean, they're pretty much free. I mean, they're online. You can find them really easy. But if you don't feel like searching, you can go to my Patreon and I got you covered. They're not there yet, so just calm down. I'll upload them over there tonight. Anyways, so there were 2 different bloody footprints. So let me get this thing to move again. I don't know why it does that. I'm hoping that it'll, because I can't see I can't see like the words behind the page number up there. Oh. Anyways, there were 2 different bloody footprints that they could see on the floor. They could tell that it was one was the size of a woman, about 5'6" shoe, and the other print was about a size 14. So they had that going on. Investigators knew the first pair was likely from Jaina, but the second pair immediately got their attention because this is a larger print. This is a size 14, the prints led back to a sink that was in the very back of the store, and it kind of just stopped there. So it's almost like the investigators had a theory that whoever done this crime must have walked to the sink, took their shoes off, rinsed them off, or just carried them out or what have you. So it was kind of weird. And then even further back in the store, you find the fire exit. And they did have blood leading up to it, and it was all over the handle. But on the outside of the door, when they opened the door to the outside, there was no blood. So it was just like it just stopped right there. And they thought that was kind of odd. The fire exit has an alarm on it. And so in order for it to be opened without going off, or in order to like disarm it, the employees have a key that they stick in that so it doesn't go off. And they did notice that there was a key in that door. So one of the employees, they had a theory that maybe one of the suspect had made one of the girls put the key in the door so it wouldn't like go off or anything. Hey Bryce, how are you? It's good to see you. Gianni, Sam, can you put the link of the documentary I sent you? Let's see. Hang on, Johnny. Yeah, I can, because I think people would be interested in, if I can get it to load, Johnny. I don't know. I'm having trouble. Okay. So yeah, it's like, it's very odd up to this point. So they're like, okay, this guy, whoever this was, either took the shoes off or something, rinsed them off. But yeah, the blood just completely stopped at the fire exit. Hang on, I don't need to play that. That's crazy. I'm trying to get the link for you guys. Ah! All right, here I'm back. That took a minute. Wait, did it go? There it goes. There's the link to the documentary. All right, so anyways, at this point, after they had done, kind of assessed the whole crime scene, they got Jana's body, and it was off time to go to autopsy now, right? And she had some really brutal wounds. Jana's was bad, okay? So Jana had sustained 331 separate wounds, and that's the ones they could count, because some of these wounds was like overlapping each other. So when someone, you can imagine someone like, stabbing, it could probably go in the same area a few more times. So it was probably more than 331, but that's all they could like separately count, without, it's just, it was brutal. And she had a combination of stab wounds, beating wounds, self-defense wounds, markings around her neck from the rope. That was some of her, wounds. It's crazy, right? A male helper disposed of the body, size 14 shoe. Yeah, Benno, size 14. It's crazy. But yeah, it's gonna get interesting though. This case, it's like, you are not ready for this. I'm just saying. So in separate, there were 200 wounds just on her face, her head, and her neck. Her arms, her chest, and her torso had the remaining 131 wounds. So that's crazy. 13 wounds were on her skull. So she had 13 different fractures in her skull, and some of the parts of her skull were like caved in. So brutal. Pathologists believe that she was alive till the last blow. They do not know if she was conscious through some of it, because honestly, she probably wasn't. She probably was like in and out, to be honest. But yeah, just, that's wild. D Hoot, how are you? I just have seen you pop up, so if you did earlier, I'm sorry. Hello, D Hoot. The worst in the state of Maryland, the medical examiner reported and testified to in court. Oh, wow. Yeah, Johnny, it sounds really bad. Can you catch me up on this? Because I signed in late. Who is this? This is the yoga shop Lululemon murder. It happened in Maryland, Brandy. So these two were attacked in the Lululemon store, and Jayla was murdered. So that's basically where we're at right now. And I'm just telling you like what her wounds were. The manager come to the store at 8:00 in the morning and found the door unlocked. And then as they assessed the scene more, they saw it was just ransacked, money gone, like all of that. So pretty much, I'm still right in the beginning, but yeah. So the last blow that would have killed her, oh, it's fine, Brandy. No, like, I didn't even know about it till YouTube. Like, I learned about it through YouTube. Through Eleanor Neal. She's a really good true crime girl I like to watch. But the last blow was a singular stab wound. This killed her, to the back of the neck, which severed her spinal cord. There were 5 different wound patterns on Jana's body. 5 different weapons were used. That's what that means. This would include the wrench, the hammer, the rope, and a Buddha statue found close to her body. Now, there were 2 Buddha statues, because I know I mentioned there was one in the bathroom where Brittany was, but there was also one with Jaina. These Buddha statues were just like decorations that sat around the store, so they were from the store. And she had clumps of her own hair in her hand, which would suggest that maybe when she was trying to cover her head from some of the blows and, pulling, yeah. So that's sad. I eat more. Tyler! I know, you're making me jealous. Now, they loaded up Jaina's body. She's gone. She's getting sent to the autopsy, right? Okay, so now we're taking her to the emergency room, because we gotta see what's going on with her, right? So she gets to the emergency room and they assess her wounds. A lot of her wounds were very superficial, so basically just scratches. She didn't require bandages, like lots of bandages, like she's bleeding a lot, right? She did have stitches in her head right here, and then she had a wound in her inner hand that was pretty deep. She had to have stitches there. Other than that, she was fine. They cleaned her up. They treated her for some of the infection, and the police questioned her. Now, she did tell the hospital that she was raped and assaulted. They did a rape kit on her. And like I said, she only had the bad wound on her head and her hand. They were bandaged, and she was pretty much taken care of. So she was, she was very lucky, right? Very, very lucky out of this, because that was a brutal attack. And it seemed to just go straight for Jaina. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about Jaina, because when we're telling the true crime stories, we're talking about the victims, and a lot of times we lose sight of the human side of the victim. And so I want to tell you a little bit about her. She was born November 22nd, 1988 in Kansas. She had quickly moved to Texas, and that's where she grew up for the remaining of her growing up stages. She was good in school. She was a hard worker, high achiever, very naturally talented. She had worked at this Lululemon store for quite some time. She was very popular amongst the coworkers, always laughing and smiling. She was outgoing, adventurous, energetic. She was outdoorsy, extreme sports, like she would skydive. She would do all that stuff. She was fearless. She was an avid dancer. She could do salsa and tap. And she was so good at it that the people that she would dance with really wanted her to go further with it and actually go, somewhere with that, but she never did. She loved to travel and experience all cultures. She had actually visited every continent except for Antarctica. That was the last one she needed. And she studied abroad. She settled in Washington, D.C. to finish her studies. She was in business and communication, so she was taking 2 things and working. Like, this girl is Wonder Woman. She met her longtime boyfriend, Frazier, in Washington. And that's where they had fell in love, and they wanted to get married. And it was sad because Frazier had actually 2 weeks before this had actually been shopping and was getting an engagement ring because he was going to propose to her. So that's pretty sad. But she was a higher up manager. She wasn't like Rachel's status, but she was higher enough that she was able to work late shifts and close the store and stuff like that. So someone had a lot of anger. Yeah, Brandy. Yep. Suburban Hospital in Bethesda. She went. One of my trauma docs after my car accident. Oh my God, Gianni, that is so sad. Yeah, not so lucky now in prison. I know, D-Who, right? People's. So, anyways, now that's a little bit about Jayla. Now, here is Brittany. She is 28 years old, born March 18th, 1992, and I can't see where she was born because that freaking number is in the way and I forgot. I think it was Seattle, Washington is where she was born. She was one of 9 siblings. She had 4 brothers and 4 sisters. And let's see, her family was really close. They were supportive. She had a really good childhood. Jana, yeah. She had a really good childhood. Her family was well educated. Her father owned his own business. He had a decent amount of money. They were comfortable, especially for like 9 kids, you know. They were very comfortable. Brittany was a really good student. She was very smart. She loved sports. Her favorite sport was soccer, and she was always one of the best players in her university. Now, after let's see, after she had joined the soccer team at her university, I'm about to be okay, Tyler. After she had joined the soccer team with her university, the girls on the team started noticing things were going missing ever since she had started, the team. They were noticing just minor things like their lipstick, t-shirts, money, like just little things just started disappearing. Not like they lost it. Like it's weird. It's starting to like get more and more and more. 92, great year, Kurt. Right, I know. I was just a wee little one. Hey Poncho, are you lurking? So they confronted her about it. The team actually went up to Brittany and was like, "Hey, yeah, what are you doing? You stealing our stuff? Stop it!" And she was just like, "Oh my God!" She started breaking down. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And so they basically, I mean, they didn't forgive her, but they went on about it. It messed with her mental health a lot being confronted that way. So, but it just didn't make any sense because she literally had money. Like if Brittany wanted to go get something, she could have went and got it. Like her dad, it's not like she's just broke, It's weird that she felt she needed to steal. So, but after she, left university, she found new friends and she started, hanging out with new people. But then she started stealing. They started noticing things. She would get a job. They started noticing things was missing. So she was just could not stop stealing. Lululemon was a good store for her to work at because she loved sports, so she could relate to that type of store. She worked at another Lululemon prior to this one, but she got fired because she stole. Her dream job was to be a personal trainer. That's really what she wanted to do. Don't know. I mean, it's crazy. So, the police, they really needed to get Brittany in to get an interview so they could figure out, what happened. What happened to you and what happened to you and Jana? So I'm trying to get this out of the way so I can read it. That okay. It's gone. All right. So this is what she told him. You can take the thug out of the hood, but not the. Oh my God, BMO. Well, she come from a good family. She come from a good part. I have no idea. It's very strange. Didn't they revoke her scholarship, Sam, for sit? I believe they did, Gianni. She was just, she just couldn't, she could have had everything if she just would have done the right thing, but she just couldn't quit stealing. She couldn't do it. So she told the police it was just her and Jana, and they had cleaned the store, they locked it up, and they actually was headed home. So she said Jana got in her car, took off. Brittany took to the subway. She was going to get on there, and she forgot she saw that she forgot her Metro card at the store. She was like, oh no, I forgot my Metro card at the store. And she was like, what am I going to do? And she didn't have Jana's number. So she started like calling the other coworkers that she had. And she was like, hey, I need Jana's number. I got to get back with her. Like, she's got to come back. I forgot my Metro card. So she gets the number for Jana. She calls Jana. She's like, hey, I forgot my Metro card. Like, can you turn around and come back? It's in the store. I can run in there and get it, no problem. Jana said, hey, it's fine. I forgot my laptop anyway. I'm coming back. I got to get that. So we'll just go in there together. You know, we'll both grab our things. So they went in there. Jana comes back. And Brittany says she parks illegally, kind of like in the parking lot close to the walkway to get to the store, because she wasn't going to be there but a few minutes, right? So she parked there, and she come up to the door, unlocked it. They both go in. They don't even turn the lights on, right? She told them, she's like, we don't even turn the lights on, because we know we're just going to get our stuff and get out. So they didn't lock the door either, because they were just going to be in and out. So they didn't lock the door behind them. So Jana offered, they looked around the store and they could not find Brittany's Metro card. She was like, oh my God, I don't know where it's at. So Jana was like, hey, you can borrow my Metro card. Just borrow mine. So she was going to give her that, and they were going to head back out. But when they turned to head back out, Brittany said there were two men wearing all black ski masks standing right there in the front of the store. So they must have like snuck in while they went in to find the stuff. And so one was like 6 foot, over 6 foot, and the other one was shorter. And she said that the 6 foot tall man went after Jana first, and then the shorter man come after her. So the 6 foot man grabbed Jana and dragged her to the back, and Brittany says she don't know where she was at that point. She could just hear her scream, and then this shorter guy come up to her and grabbed her and dragged her to the cash registers, made her open them all up, give him all the money, and then he dragged her into this bathroom and began torturing her. He zip-tied her hands, he zip-tied her feet, and he was hitting her, slashing her with razors, calling her racial slurs. She said he was screaming racial slurs, and she could tell they were both white men by their accents. He cut her open her leggings. He raped her and then got up and he left her. She said he then come back and assaulted her with a coat hanger. Yeah. And she said she was tortured for a long time, and she could also hear Jana scream, and it seemed like it took forever. And she finally, over time, heard Jana's scream fade. Now, she said the attackers pulled her out of the room, and she was in, they pulled her into the room with Jana and just threw her on Jana's body, just threw her on top of Jana. And she said they told her they would spare her because she was fun to have sex with. And they threw her back in the bathroom, and that's where they left her. That's where she was found. Lululemon is my mom. Wait, what? Lululemon is my mom and sister's favorite. Oh yeah, Tyler, I love Lululemon. They have the most cutest running shorts. What a tangle web when we first yes, what a tangle web we weave. Yep. This happened about 35 minutes away from my old house. Ex-girlfriend worked 2 streets over from Lulu. Oh wow. Yeah, Prince Daniel, it's crazy. It's crazy. So while the police was interviewing her, they said she seemed very traumatized, because she kept saying there was just so much blood. There was so much blood, and she kept blaming herself. If only I hadn't forgot my Metro card. Like, none of this would have happened. This wouldn't have happened to Jana. This wouldn't happen to me. And so they felt like they could see remorse from her, as upset she was, but they knew they had to figure it out quick. And they were really on this case. Like, they didn't waste no time. Like, they stayed on it from day one. They really done a good job on this case. So they figured, okay, so we've interviewed Jana. I mean, not Jana. We've interviewed Brittany. So now we need to see if we can find any footage. So they go straight for the CCTV footage. And they were like, that's what we need. That's what's going to tell us. But they couldn't. None of the stores had the CCTV footage. But the Apple store next door had cameras. So they collected the CCTV footage from the outside of the Apple store. Now, they did, in fact, see two men dressed in all black walking about around 9:30 to 10 p.m., okay? Around the same time the women would have left. So the same time Jana and Brittany, all of this would have happened, right? So they aired this story that night, that same night that they found the girls at the store. They aired it. They were like, hey, we got this footage. We've got these two men. Like, let's put this out here and let's see if the public can help us. And they, like, you know, if you've seen these two men, if you know these two men, like, call if you know anything. So there was a concern with the public with such a brutal attack could happen around closing time. And the cops were like, it's odd because there were still other store people closing their stores, you know? So this was like, not like the dead of night where it was like no one. This is a brutal attack for that time frame, you know. And so, you know, they put out what they could, and then they started asking questions to the workers at the Apple store. They was like, well, let's get with some of them, see what they saw, what they heard, see if they had anything. So some of the workers did. So there was a girl that worked at the Apple store. Her name was Jana. And she was working that night, and she said she was actually there after 10 p.m. Right, Gianni. And she described hearing screaming, squealing, a lot of banging. She thought it was just people like messing around outside, because I'm sure they had like restaurants and, you know, people like to drink and hang out, and that's what she thought at first. But then she was hearing like thumping and dragging and like all of these sounds to at the Lululemon store. It was right, like they were right beside each other. And so she was like, okay, that's odd. So she went up to, you know, the Apple store has a security guard. So she went up to the security guard, Ricardo. One second. It's hot and happening into the, yeah, Gianni, that's what I was reading, that it was like real active with people hanging out and stuff. So she went to Ricardo and she said, hey, you know, I'm hearing screaming, I'm hearing squealing, I'm hearing banging, I'm hearing drag, like all these sounds, weird sounds are coming from next door at the Lululemon store. You know, can you like come and listen, help me, you know, figure out what is happening. So he walks up to the wall and he sticks his ear up to the wall, and he was just like, you know, they could hear two women talking. And so he just hit the wall a couple of times, like knock it off. So when he hit the wall really hard, actually all of the noise stopped after he hit the wall. So, but they did describe to the police, they heard two women talking. One was saying, please don't do this, talk to me. And another was saying, God help me, please, God help me. Now, the Apple workers, they thought it was just, you know, they was like, well, maybe the coworkers are arguing. Maybe it's like a drama with the coworkers, you know? And so they didn't get involved at all. They didn't call the cops. Like, they didn't do anything, which, you know, if I would have heard screaming, squealing, like if I would have heard that racket, and then especially hearing a woman say, please don't do this, like talk to me, and another one saying, God help me, like I think I'm like, hey, you know, there's people over here like screaming for God and everything. You might want to just like come down here and check it out, you know? But no one, they didn't do anything. So the police needed to establish a timeline. They were like, okay, we need a timeline of everything that happened that night. And so the Apple workers said they heard the noises just after 10 p.m. So that would have been about like 10:15. In an interview with Rachel, she had spoke with Jana on the phone at 10 o'clock on the dot. So they established that the Apple worker must have heard that noise around 10:15 because Jana was headed home. She was in her car, like that's true. She had talked to Rachel on the phone and said, "Hey, we've locked up and we're headed home." Now, after she had talked to Rachel, Jana got a call from Brittany, and so therefore she turned around and, this is where all this is falling into play. So around 10:15 is when the Apple workers heard the noise. Now, when Jana had turned around and let Brittany back in, the noises, like I said, it started around 10:15. All right. So now we're starting to get the timeline established here. So the police got Rachel to pull up, so they were like, we need you to pull up the alarm system. So like basically wanting to know when the alarm was set and when it was disarmed for the girls to come in the store. So she said it was set around 9:45, but it was disarmed at 10:05. So there we established that the girls entered the store at 10:05 p.m. They had all of the information up to this point in like a day or two. So like I said, they moved fast on this. The one thing they couldn't find was Jana's car, though, because you remember Brittany mentioned that she pulled up in a car, she parked illegally near the store, but he's like, we don't see that car. We don't see the car Brittany's talking about, that she described how Jana parked. So they said, okay, well, if it was a robbery, then the robbers could have took the money, assaulted them, and then fled in Jana's car, right? Well, the police informed all the officers to keep a lookout on this car, what the car looked like, model, make, everything. And it was very easy to spot this car because Jana had a Texas license plate, all right? So they were like, oh, that'll be easy to spot. Well, when the investigators informed some of the cops about her car, one of the cops said, wait a minute, hold up. I seen that car. And they were like, oh, really? He was like, yep. He's like, I seen that car. So he seen it around 12:15 that night in another parking lot that was 3 blocks from where Lululemon store was. He said the headlights were on and there was somebody in the passenger seat. He didn't think much of it. I think he was just patrolling around the area. He didn't think anything of it. He was just like, probably nothing. But then it was 2 hours later, he come back around to make another round. The car was still there. The lights were off and no one was in the car. So he was like, okay, I can take you to where I saw it. So he took the detectives to the car and they got it impounded and they started running evidence on it. Now, the most solid thing out of the case as of right now was the CCTV footage where they saw the 2 men on the film. So they were like, okay, we got that. But the head detective, the lead detective, Ruben, on this case was like, listen, we've got to figure out if these men come back. So I'm going to do a stakeout. So he decided to go back to the store and stake it out. And so he sat there for a long time. And yes, Gianni. He sat there for a long time at this stakeout. And then he saw the 2 men. He was like, that's them. It was, I think it was around the same time. It was around 10-ish, like 10 o'clock at night. He saw the same 2 guys walking the same way, the same everything. He was like, okay, that's them. He got out. He had his pictures on hand. He had still shots of the CCTV footage. He was like, I'm going to go question them right now. He went up to him. He questioned him. He said, hey, is this you? And they were like, yeah, that's us. And he was like, okay, like, that's you. Okay, so what are you doing? And they were like, well, we work at the restaurant a few stores down, and we had just gotten off, and we live in the same direction, so we walk together. And that's why they wear black, is because they're waiters. So Detective Rubin was like, well, shit. That takes them out. That clears them immediately. He was like, okay, so where is these men? Like, who are these two men? So they reviewed the footage and even tried to like recreate some of it, like for the shadowing, but they just didn't have much to go on with footage. So one guy come out and was like, hey, there's a homeless guy that hangs around. He's kind of aggressive with the women. Maybe he could have done that. And so they found this homeless guy. His name was Keith. They checked him out, and he had blood on his shoes. And they were like, okay, he's got blood on his shoes. But Keith was like, oh, no, nay. I was not involved in a murder, thank you very much. I had gotten in a fight with another homeless man. That's where that blood come from. And they were like, really? And so ultimately they cleared Keith. Keith had nothing to do with it. Keith was like, he literally did have, they took his clothing, his shoes, they tested. Keith was cleared very, very quickly. Johnny, sorry, Sam, I have so much to say, but no, Johnny, you love this cat. Like, no, what? This is a open pet. Like, anybody can say whatever they want. I'm just reading to you like my bullet point. Like, it's a really good case. I was very impressed with how they handled it and how it went. It's sad, but it's really good. It's really good. So the investigator was like, well, dang, we're back to square one, basically, because Keith's been cleared. The two guys at the restaurant, they're cleared. So what are we going to do now? So they started going back over questions and things and red flags that stood out to them. So they had, here's some of the questions they had. The attackers hadn't brought their own weapons to use. They only used what was in the store, so they thought that was odd. So if you were planning to rob a store, why do you show up empty-handed and bank on the store having stuff you need in there? You know what I mean? A homeless brawl. Guess Keith won that. I guess Keith did win that when he walked away from it. Hate to see what that other guy looked like, all that blood on his shoe. It's crazy. But so that was a question that stood out to him. If you're going to rob a place, why are you going to show up with no weapons? Nothing. Just nothing. So, also they were thinking, okay, so these two must have thought they were lucky when the two women come back, open the store, and they're like, oh, shoot, like, we're lucky. Here they are. They opened the store. Let's just run in. They had nothing. They had no crowbar. Nothing. It's just weird, right? So, then they said a lot of, so when they had the two women in the store and they dragged Brittany to the bathroom, they dragged Jana back here. Okay, you got both of these men. You've got them running back and forth trying to figure out what weapon they're going to use next. Okay, so it's like, how do you have time to run back and forth finding new weapons to assault these women so brutally? You know what I'm saying? Especially Jana. Like, how do you have time for that? If it's a robbery, you would think you would want to just get in, get the money, get out, maybe, smack them, or something. But, you're out. Like, you're not sticking around to torture and possibly get caught. Like, they could have easily gotten caught. Like, it makes no sense for just a robbery. Just a random robbery. And so Brittany had told the investigators that the man that assaulted her had actually yelled her address to her. So they were like, okay, so did this man target Brittany? It's very strange. Very, very strange. So with Jana's wounds, they said, so one blow every 3 seconds equaled to the 331 wounds on Jaina. So that means the attack lasted 17 minutes. So she every 3 seconds got a new blow with something or whatever. Like every 3 seconds. She's getting hit, she's getting whatever. So it lasted 17 minutes. That's how they calculated that. A random attacker or robber would not have that much anger. Like Brandy had mentioned, like this person had a lot of anger in them to do what they did to Jaina. She was brutally hurt. And so just terrible. And another thing that stood out to the investigators was like, okay, so if there's 4 people in this store, why are we only seeing 2 sets of bloody footprints? Right? A small one and a bigger one. Like, this doesn't make any sense. There should be 4 sets of footprints. At the least 3. So it should have been Brittany and the 2 guys. Because Jaina was like in the floor, like she ain't doing, she couldn't do anything, right? So it should have been at least 3. But it was only 2. So that was another strange thing they said. When they went back and they interviewed Rachel, the manager of Lululemon, of that store, and she said that there's been a few times that Brittany was actually caught stealing from that store. She was abusing the employee discounts with things. So the police says, okay, well, we found a size 14 shoe print, bloody print in the store. And Rachel said, oh, they showed her the shoes and everything because the shoes were left. So she said, oh, no worries. That's actually property of Lululemon. And they said, excuse me? What? This size 14 shoe is the property of Lululemon? She says, yes. We have spare shoes. We have size 14 and they have other shoes that they keep on hand because when people come in to change or to try on like the sportswear, just say they come in like dress shoes or high heels or whatever, and they want to try on the athletic wear, but they don't want to wear their high heels. They want a shoe on to see what it looks like. They have those spare shoes that the people can put on, and size 14, it's going to fit somebody, especially a little foot. I mean, my goodness. But they have smaller sizes too, but, with a man, 14 is it's going to fit, mainly everybody. So that was weird. They's like, okay, we just thought the attacker, just ditched him or whatever. So then they noticed, okay, well, here's another red flag. The differences in the wounds of the girls. Jaina's was so much more brutal. Brittany survived. She only had superficial wounds. She only had 2 deep wounds, one in the forehead and one right in her hands. Okay? That's a deep cut. Why would it wasn't, the pathologist would looked at it and was like, that's not a wound of defense. That's a wound like gripping a blade. Just keep that in mind. So, the Apple workers said they only heard 2 women. This was another thing that stood out to the investigators. They only heard 2 women yelling. So, Brittany mentioned, she was like, this guy, I mean, like, he shouted racial slurs to me. Wouldn't the Apple workers have heard a man screaming racial slurs? Yes, they would have. Yes, they would have. So this is where the tables turn. And they're like, now it's starting to make sense. Now we're connecting dots. Brittany Norwood is they hone in on her. They're like, okay, she did it. We're going for her now. So they pull her in. They bring her back, but they don't let her know initially that she's like a suspect or anything. But this is what they say. So the day before this awful attack, Jaina had called the store manager, Rachel, and had informed her that Brittany was stealing again. She saw Brittany stealing some leggings and putting them in her bag. So she went up to Brittany. She confronted her and she said, "Hey, let me do a bag check." Because the employees do bag checks. And she's like, let me do it. Let me do a bag check on you. And she's like, no, such and such has already bag checked me. And she's like, okay. So she goes to that other employee, and that employee's like, I didn't bag check her. I don't know what she's talking about. And they're like, okay. So she informed Rachel. She was like, yeah, she's stealing again. So that is what set the motive. That's what set this off. She confronted Brittany. She was like, oh no, that girl did not just do that to me. All right. Who does she think she is, huh? No. So the evidence that, now we've got the evidence coming back from the car now. Okay. They're like, okay. The evidence that was found in the car was blood matching Jana and Brittany, which they said that's possible. That's very possible, because if two perpetrators got in the car, they had both of their blood on them, that would have made that possible. But there was a hat found in the car, and the inside, right here in the front of the hat, there was a big bloody spot. Kind of matches that little wound right there on the Brittany's head. Right? Yeah. So, I'm going to get to my theory on that wound too. And also, the rape kit had come back. She was not raped. She was not. Negative. She was not. So, they brought Brittany back in. They didn't let her know. They just made her think she wanted, they wanted to question her a little bit more. They brought up the zip ties. They was like, well, the zip ties that you brought, that you were like, tied up with, you mentioned that maybe the robbers could have got them out of their backpack, because she did say they had a backpack. But that's funny, because it matches zip ties that's in the back room where Jana was found. There's a whole pile of those same kind of zip ties back there. She's like, I don't know, it's all a blur. I'm forgetting. It's all black. Like, I'm forgetting stuff. I'm blacking it out. I don't know. She's getting confused now, right? She's getting confused. So she tells them, I'm getting overwhelmed. I can't do this anymore. I need to leave. I'm a victim. This is too much. They let her go. But once they got the rape kit back, and they were like, you know what? No. She did this. It all pointed to her. Everything lined up and pointed to Jana. So the person that the officer saw at 12:15 a.m. in that parking lot was Jana. She was just moving the car. Was Brittany. Sorry, she was just moving the car, and that wound on her head. They're thinking that this wound, where she was stabbing Jana so much in a state of fury, that her hand slid down the razor and it just mashed into the blade, and that's why she got that cut. And when she was stabbing her so furiously, she popped herself in the head. There you go. And that's how that happened. So, January 27th, 2012, Brittany Norwood was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and she was, guilty of first-degree murder of Jana Murray. Case closed. So, that's crazy, guys. That was a crazy case. I really enjoyed reading that case, and I appreciate Johnny sending that to me. That was an infuriating case, by the way. Oh, Wojo! Never trust a woman with cat eyes. It makes you wonder about demonic. Benno, yeah. It's interesting because, like I said, Brittany was like, she grew up comfortable. She grew up, she didn't have to struggle. She didn't have to steal. It's just like the stealing was just, I don't know. I mean, because she had several jobs um, prior to this that she got caught stealing. And her group of friends also that she had, like Gianni can attest to this, the new group of friends that she had made started noticing their things going missing. And they were like, girlfriend, you stealing from us? What? And so that led up. And then she had I do believe she had a boyfriend at one point. And like, she's just a big mess. Brittany is a big mess. Hey, been YouTubing? How are you? Have you been around? I've been saying that, and you've been lurking. Um, so kleptomania. Do you? Yeah, possibly. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And that first confrontation with those girls on her soccer team really like scarred her. And then the more she went on in life, other jobs and other friends and all of this, they confronted her, and she was just like, she was victimized. She was the victim. Like, I don't get it. I don't get her mind thought. And then Jaina, Jaina had worked really hard to get in her position at Lululemon. She was so a hard worker, and she had finally got that position of, there was her, Rachel, and then I think there was like one other girl, maybe another one, but they were all told to keep an eye on Brittany because she'd been, abusing employee discount, and she'd been doing things, and they were like, keep an eye on her. If she steals, call me immediately. And so that's what Jaina did. Jaina was like, yep, she's stealing again. She confronted her, and Brittany was like, oh no, I am done with this. I am done being confronted about stealing things that I'm actually stealing. How dare you get after me for stealing? How dare you? I'm committing a crime, and you are coming for me. Like, leave me alone. Let me just commit my crime in peace. I mean, it's just like, what is your thinking? Like, what do you think? It's crazy. Um, she was the common denominator. Yeah, Mary, that was crazy. Nosy, the two men on footage turned out. Yes, they were. They worked at the restaurant down a few stores down from Lululemon, and they had to dress in black because they were waiters. And then it snowballed once they started. They felt they had to keep going to cover it. Or yeah, Brittany, like, yeah, she had to, like. Oh my God, it's crazy, right? They worked at the New Mexican restaurant. Yes, that's right, Gianni. They sure did. Kurt, entitled children seem to go off the rails more than struggling learning lessons young and conducting yourself with more resources at hand, and they should be better, but money is the main. Yeah, Kurt, that's right. That's true. That's very true. BMO, bratty kid that got everything she wanted, and if it wasn't given, she took it. Exactly. BMO, that's the perfect way to describe it. I'm sorry, what happened on the soccer team? I missed that. Mary, so Brittany went to university. Gianni was at Washington State. She went to university. She made the soccer team. She was really good at soccer. Like, she was a really good player. They loved her on that team, right? And the team, when they brought her on, in the locker room, they noticed that things were going missing. Like, just minor things, lip gloss, money, clothing. And they were like, wait a minute, like, makes no sense. Like, I wouldn't have missed, like, they know where they left their stuff. Like, it wouldn't have just disappeared, right? So they were like, yeah, ever since we let Brittany on the soccer team, our stuff started going missing. I think she's stealing from us. So they confronted her, and she was like, and she just broke down, had this terrible breakdown. I'm sorry. And they were like, okay, whatever. They didn't, like, necessarily forgive her. They just didn't play around with her anymore. They were like, no, we're done with her. Once you've done that, you're never to be trusted again. So that scarred her. But yeah, it was just a crazy, crazy story. Crazy. And I'm glad that it was solved so quickly with just, I mean, not even having that much of CCT, I mean, footage and stuff. But it just baffles me how these people at the Apple store is like, um, didn't report all of this commotion. Like, maybe we should call and be like, hey, I mean, there's like people fighting over here. You want to get over here and check this out? But no. You missed the rape kit. Oh, Z Sun Dragon. So the rape kit finally come back, and it was negative. The girl was not raped, and with a clothes hanger. I mean, not. I mean, I know other cases where, oh, that has been some brutal ones I've read about, but so that's not like impossible. But it was just, yeah. Like, you gotta be a level of sick to do that. Like, tie your own hand, your feet, and just be like, help! Like, I'm a victim. Like, really? It's just sick. It's sick. But to have her mind frame of stealing and then place herself as a victim. Like, I'm the victim. Okay, what do you mean? I mean, I need this stuff. It like, rightfully I should have it, even if I have to steal it. What is your problem? Like, the victim mentality is just stupid. The police substation only 2 streets over. Yes. Like, oh, this makes no sense to me. It's an unbelievable story. It's crazy. Mary, you are so welcome. I enjoyed this true crime story, and I have another one in mind, and it was actually suggested by our own Wojo. Our own Home of the Boom host, Wojo, has suggested the next true crime that I will be covering. And it will probably be a 3-parter because, boy, is it big. It might be 2, but more than likely it's going to be 3. It is huge, people. This case is huge. And I'm going to... Oh, God. I won't say who that reminded me. Anyways, I won't tell you the name of it because I want it to be a surprise. But it's a good case. I think you'll like it. It's got a lot of drama in it. A lot of drama. A lot of twists and turns and like craziness. And you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Sorry, I'm late. I watched the replay. Yeah, Rachel. You've been watching the Coachella. I'm gonna watch the Coachella live stream when Sabrina Carpenter comes out. That'll be my favorite part. So I'm just waiting for Sabrina. Like, it's gonna be fun. Previously possessed. No, I don't know. Wojo, would you consider that case recent? I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think if I think that's recent or not. I don't think so. I wouldn't say it was recent. I wouldn't say so. Maybe. I don't know. Oh my God, Wojo! Is it recent or not? I don't know. Teddy Swims was amazing. Oh. Okay, he can't spoil it. Okay. He's not, his lips are sealed. Mine are sealed. Like, when I present it to you, you'll see it in the thumbnail. Excuse me. So sorry. When that thumbnail comes up, you're going to be like, whoa. Great showing case story. Yes, Z Sun Dragon, this happened in 2011. And if you want, this is the link to the documentary so you can watch it. I want to say there was an episode on Snapped about this case too. If you can pull up Snapped, or you can Yeah, no, Wojo, I'm not telling anybody, I'm not saying anything. I want everybody to be shocked. But like, oh God, this case, because I'm going to bring some facts into this case that not everybody is considering. You understand? Because even myself, as guilty as charged with this case, as only looking at certain details from the outside and being like, no, but you're going to be surprised that that there's some twist in that one. And I'm going to, at that point when I ask you what you think, you give me your thoughts if you've heard about it, and then I'm going to flip the table on you that night. And you're going to be like, whoa, didn't know that happened. That was, I know, Benno. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Water tonight, Benno. Unfortunately. Yeah. Stomach is tore up right now. So, no fun for me. No fun for me. I'm just stuck to water right now. So yeah, or I would have had me a nice little wine glass over here while I was telling the story, because God, that was heavy. Many docs on this case, but the one Sam is showing in the link is very well known. Yeah, that's a good point, Johnny. Some documentaries you have to watch out for. When you find a good one that tells all the facts correctly, tells the story correctly, that's what you want to stick with. So, yeah, Wojo, that's right. Boom. Y'all are great. But I'm glad y'all stuck with me through that. I know a lot of people was like in and out, and they were like, "Shut up, my God!" And they left. I was like, I had like 30 people at one point, and they were just like, I'm done. So not a lot of people like true crime because they're like, it's kind of rough. People are going to bed. Like, no way. Benno, love the profile picture. Oh my God. Sam. Stephanie Lazarus case. Oh my God. Johnny. What is the Stephanie? Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up. Wait, it sounds so familiar. Why? I watched so many of them, it's no telling. But that name sounds so familiar. There's a little bit of a case unraveling where I live, and I'm just like, we're in the beginning stages, so not many details right now, but there's something going on. So when I get that, I will have to let you know those details, because yeah, that one's weird going on. Wait, Rachel, what did you say? Because you said if not, I understand. What did you? Since I live in the state, it happened. Wait, what? What? Teddy swims in a maid. Okay. Rachel, are you suggesting a case? Because I don't know. If you did, just put it in the comments again, because I missed that. Your mama is watching upstairs, just not texting. Oh, okay. Hey, mama, I'm so good. I'm glad you stuck around and listened to this true crime case, and I hope it did not tear your stomach up too much, or disturb you. But I'll send it to you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I know that name sounded familiar. So yeah, you send me that case. I'll do it after Wojo's, because Wojo, that one's gonna take me some really good research, and my presentation slides are gonna be really good on that one. I'm gonna make the next presentation slides a little bit better, because I felt like these one. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. Let me know if that was visually appealing. I don't think so. It was a lot of words, but I have to have like a lot of key like things I can remember the case with, because I can't just read the story and try to remember every detail. It's just too hard. So Anyways, but you are great at this topic. Thank you, Benno. Thank you. Thank you. I watch a lot of true crime. I should be good at this. Like that's all. Like that's all I do is watch like true crime, to the point where I'm just like, everyone's a suspect. You know? Oh, I hate being that way, but it's true. Everyone's a suspect. I don't know. I don't know. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Friday night. I'm gonna like go get myself together because I've done pretty well getting through this stream, but I'm gonna tell you this whole time I've been like, my stomach, and I ran out of candy right before the stream, and I was like, oh my god, because it was kind of helping me a little bit before the stream. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good Friday night. I hope you have a good weekend, and remember, tomorrow we have. I said what I wanted you to do. Oh, Rachel, what? Where? Hang on. Am I not seeing her comment? Gianni, I'm confused. Someone, help me. Did I don't know. What did you say, Rachel? Thank you, previously possessed. Thank you, Gianni. I appreciate it. I hope I've done this justice. These things are getting so uncomfortable. Rachel, just message me on Facebook. Just message me on Facebook. I don't know anymore. Okay. Remember tomorrow. Thank you, Wojo. Thank you, Sea Sun Dragon. Remember tomorrow we have Richie B and Wojo coming back at 6 p.m. And it's gonna be a really good show because they're gonna go. Like I'm gonna be up there or something. They are gonna go over some really good evidence tomorrow at 6 p.m. So you don't want to miss that because there's been a lot of stuff going on. Oh, Rachel, the Moscow murder. I would love to do that, Rachel. I tell you, when that was going on, I was in it. I was in it so much, just to the point where I should have just been there. I mean, I followed that case like I was like, oh my god, that's a really good case. I will definitely do that. Thank you, Kurt W. I really appreciate that, and thank you, Benno. Have a good feed. Oh no, I don't want any food. I'm good. No way. Oh god. See. Oh, your mom subscribed? That is so awesome. Rachel lives in Idaho, Gianni. Let's see. We will see you next week. Thank you, Ray. I hope Rachel feels better. I'm so sorry she's sick. I feel it. I feel that. So I hope she feels better. Please do that. Oh, missed your question. Sorry. It's okay, Johnny. I'll do the Moscow, the Idaho 4, Gianni. If you've ever heard of the Idaho 4, I suggest you look it up and start studying that one. It's beyond crazy. So, all right, I told you about Saturday, and then Sunday, I don't want to forget, Sunday, we have Jean Tewksbury coming back with her show, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's going to have a really, really, really good show. So you don't want to miss that one. And I do believe, if Wojo's still here, or Richie, are you still here? I got a question. I can't remember if he's going to do the Wheel of Weird tomorrow or the next Saturday. Please, hello. Sorry. Can you let the people know if you're still in hanging around? He's probably not. He's probably relaxing. The man's been working hard. Okay. But Wojo, I don't know. One of them will know. We'll give them a minute. If they don't pop in, you'll find out tomorrow. Okay. Because I don't know. You should do one about Andre Chikatilo. Okay. I'm going to screenshot that, BMI, so I can remember the name. You're welcome, Rachel. I do. I hope you feel better, and thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't see Wojo or Richie. Help! Anyways, you'll find out tomorrow if he does the Wheel of Weird with the raffle, because we've had that going on where you give $5, you get a slot on the Wheel of Weird. Up to 25, you got a chance to win $100 gift certificate to the merch store. So yes, and my 1,000th subscriber was not here, but Obsessed with Horror has been entered for being 1,000th subscriber on the Wheel of Weird. So yes, maybe they'll watch the replay and find that out. But I'm gonna go now. Just be ready for those shows, and then Tuesday we're gonna have Home of the Boom coming back. So just 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be ready for that. Okay. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you so much. I'll make a post about it. If when you find out, Kurt, in our group messenger, I'll make a post on my YouTube channel and let you guys know. So until then, stay sweet, stay smart, and whatever you do, the Hoot's favorite line, don't forget to sleep with the lights on. Bye.